Hi, good morning. This is Renee Thompson Trueheart with Live by the Spirit. I'm coming to you this morning because I have this huge thought in my head, and I want to discuss it with you. I want to talk to you about it because it's something, when I think of things, I want to share it with you all, because I think that, of course, you know, I think I have a lot of wisdom. At 51, I really do have a lot of wisdom. But even not just because of that, but because I think that, you know, the world should know all of the goodness that God just continues to bestow upon me with thought, and I want to share it. So this morning in Live by the Spirit, I want to talk to you today about sitting in the lap of poverty. Okay, and that was exactly the title I came up with. I was actually struggling with I always am. I'm always struggling with whether I want to, you know, just doing better and being better and having better and living better and all of the goodness that I think life should afford us if we work hard and if we respect life, because we have to respect life. So, okay, let's talk about sitting in the lap of poverty. Okay, from a young girl up until you know, not long, because I've had my issues with one thing or the other as far as finances are concerned. But poverty is just ugly. It's sad. It's misery. It's a lot of the things. The feeling that poverty makes you do things. It makes good people become criminals. Poverty is just not a good thing. And so in this speaking, I don't want any of you, I want to make it very clear to you that living in poverty is just not what God intended for us. It's just not. You know, as a little girl growing up in the projects and hating it and knowing that there was something more to life than just living in the manner in which we were living. It wasn't my fault. I mean, my mother, she was the one who, and I always tell people that when people say, well, you grew up in the projects. Well, you know what? Yeah, I did, but I wasn't the controlling factor of that. I had no control of that. I never lived in the projects as an adult, never had a project, went and stayed with my mom for a couple of weeks there, but my kids and I, and why I thought that was, you know, that was one of the faults, but I never lived in the projects. Now, am I rejecting the projects? No, because if it is used for what the purpose it was intended, or the purpose that it wasn't intended, maybe the purpose was to see how many people could use it for the purpose that they said it was intended. They meaning the government said it was intended, and then they turn around and don't use it for that purpose and just live there and live the project type life. Then that's one thing. But anyway, I don't want to get too deep in that. What I want to talk to you today about is poverty. And I want to talk to you about poverty because I don't want you to be poor. I don't want to be poor, and I don't want you to be poor, because there's nothing cute about it. It's a struggle. It turns good people bad. And it just, and without resources, poverty can be a huge issue. So, in talking about, why can't I get my gears straight? I apologize for that, y'all. So in talking about poverty and how you cannot succumb to the grips of it, we need to explore some things. We need to explore what you're doing, how you're using your resources to make sure that you do not become a victim of poverty, because that's exactly what poverty does to people. It victimizes people, and it restricts you, and without a job and a place to live and the natural resources of life, you will find yourself in that place, you know. And we fall into poverty for many reasons. We fall into poverty for many reasons. Unfortunately, a lot of people fall into poverty because of how they were raised. A lot of people fall into poverty because of depression. You fall into poverty because you you could be a very intelligent person. I mean, brilliant among brilliant, but because you do not have the resources, you just fall by the wayside, and you become another marked grave that had potential, and you just don't want to do that. So sitting in the lap of poverty is not anything anyone wants to do. How do you not sit in the lap of poverty? You take advantage of your resources. You always think, always figure out a way out. And remember, there is always a way out. There's always a way out. Okay? No matter how struck you might be, no matter how trapped you may feel, there is always a way out. Okay, so never stop looking for a way out. So let's talk about how do you not sit in the lap of poverty. You don't sit in the lap of poverty. One of the ways to not sit in the lap of poverty is to think about what it is you're good at. What is it that you can offer somebody where somebody will want to either employ you or buy from you, or have the services of what you have to offer? Okay? And what if I have no job? What if I have no car? And what if I have no money? Oh my goodness. If you have none of those things, and the only thing you have is you, then that brings it back to my point of being able to ensure that you are well equipped with what it is you need to do in order not to sit in the lap of poverty. That you are well equipped with not sitting in the lap of poverty and I'm distracted, y'all, by the traffic, so please forgive me. But what you need to make sure you do is take advantage of what it is you have. Okay, so let's say, for example, you clean well. Let's say you just, you know you clean well, and there's something about cleaning that you love. You can't explain it. You're really smart, but there's something about cleaning that you like to do. Let me tell you something. With having nothing, you might not even have. You can go, let me tell you something. You can go to, now you would need your legs, you would need to be able to walk and go and get this, but you can go to a friend, you can go to a neighbor, you can go to a convenience store, and you can ask for a pencil. Get one of those lottery pencils, and you can ask for a pencil, and you can find, even if you have to use scratch paper, let me tell you something, but you know that you are good at cleaning. You can take and write, I'm really good at cleaning, will clean your house for so-and-so amount. But you don't even have a phone for the people to get in touch with you. Then that means you might have to go door to door. Remember, there's always a way out. So what I'm doing is I'm telling you about I'm telling you about what you need to do in order to keep, now that's an extreme case, okay, to keep yourself out of poverty, out of the lap of poverty. You don't want to sit in the lap of poverty. You want to make sure you use your resources. If you have to walk downtown, and everybody can walk downtown from where they are unless you live in the country, and then you go to one of the country stores, hopefully you can walk there and use the phone and set yourself up some resources through the government to make sure you are right. Whatever you need to do, you do it. And I might not be using the best examples, but do not, I repeat, do not sit in the lap of poverty. No way should you sit in the lap of poverty, because poverty will only do one thing. It will turn you as a good person into a bad person, and it will make you so miserable and so feeling so bad and so down on yourself. And those are the things that you don't want to do. Let me tell you something. You can be broke, but don't you dare be poor. Don't you dare be poor. I'm going to say it one more time. You can be broke, but don't you dare be poor.